hiccups. Hiccups, the way to start a live, well, not a live stream, a Warcraft 3 cast? I don't know. Really? Am I going to be hiccuping through this entire thing? Anyways, we have KraV and Miezhiko going up against Insuperable and MuscleMike here on Deja Vu 1.5. As I worry about whether or not I'm going to hiccup in the next 20 or seconds or not, we see Insup spawning as the orange orc here at what I'll call the 8 o'clock position. MuscleMike spawning as the orange orc as well in the 8 o'clock position. They're going up against KraV, who has spawned as the purple undead, and also, well, Miezhiko, who has also spawned as the purple undead. Given the colors are the way they are, and we know it's orc versus orc, I am going to actually shift colors just so that we can see who is who. A little bit of a story between me and MuscleMike. So I was doing a 2v2 cast or some cast with Todd, and it was actually like a group cast. And MuscleMike was also pulled in. And I don't think MuscleMike actually knew who I was because we were talking and we're like, oh, Todd was saying like, yeah, Crota, you should totally join in on this cast. And in the middle, I'm like, okay, sure, I'll join you in this. I'll do the play-by-play for this cast with you and MuscleMike. And Todd did his intro, said that Crota's with me, MuscleMike's with me, and then he handed it. It goes, and Crota, I'll hand it off to you to do the introductions. And I did my standard introductions, and in the like right as I started, I don't know, I must have like flipped a switch or turned it on or something, but I could hear MuscleMike go, "Whoa." And like kind of surprised about like who is this guy, and I could see him like trying to Google me in like Warcraft 3, like who is this guy casting, and ever since then I haven't had the chance to work with him or do any other casts as well, but still a lot of fun to be able to get introduced to new Warcraft 3 community members. I don't know how many people know who I am or what's going on, but well, what is going on is now, and we're seeing Insub coming in, trying to put pressure on Miezhiko with the Farseer and those dual Spirit Wolves. Death Knight is a bit delayed here. Farseer didn't actually catch the Altar of Darkness doing that upgrade as the Spirit Wolves are diving down onto that Crypt Fiend. Meanwhile, back off to the north side here, we are seeing pretty much two 1v1 games happening simultaneously. MuscleMike putting in pressure on KraV's Death Knight. However, KraV is going for ghouls instead of Crypt Fiends. Farseer now trying to pull aggro a little bit, trying to cause a little bit of disruption for Miezhiko. Miezhiko, well, may try and come across here with a little bit of damage here. We can see some headhunters joining in on the battle here, and well, this is perhaps the hardest 2v2 fight to try and cast, as it is pretty much a simultaneous 1v1 game on the north and the south side, Orc versus Undead, as we see MuscleMike now backing up based on the minimap. Meanwhile, Insup still trying to put in pressure, trying to make sure to get that last hit on that Null Brute, but the Death Knight does in fact have that long-distance Death Coil that can rack in damage, and what we're seeing instead is that Insup is putting pressure in onto those units, buying a little bit of time. Farseer loses one Spirit Wolf, but a Skeletal Minion was taken down as well, so both sides are exchanging blows, trying to get to a little bit of experience. One more shot there, gonna get that final shot there as all of the units try to ensure and guarantee that last hit. More damage racking up onto those Skeletal Minion warriors as they're retreating back as well. Meanwhile, back off to the north, we see KraV is clearing out creep camps. Ghouls being pulled back, and KraV are actually, well, it looks as though MuscleMike actually doing a little bit of a favor for KraV, as KraV was able to clear out the majority of that creep camp with just a lot of skeletal minions. Farseer going to go ahead and pick up that item there, picking up a Mantle of Intelligence, and now being forced to retreat back as more damage is racking up onto that Death Knight. Back off to the north side here, we're looking at MuscleMike trying to put in poke pressure damage, and with those headhunters, as this is turning into a headhunter Crypt Fiend battle going up against headhunter and ghouls. Off to the north here, the ghouls are actually trying to put in pressure onto those headhunters. Headhunters trying to retreat away, gonna easily get surrounded right there. But during that exchange, MuscleMike actually gonna clear out some more of these easy creep camps, gain a little bit of experience, but gonna be sacrificing one headhunter in this matchup. Meanwhile, coming back around, Farseer is getting up to level 2. This is an all-in strategy by Insup, being forced to use that Scroll of Town Portal in order to head back away. More damage racking up onto that Crypt Fiend. But that Crypt Fiend on Blight gonna see better days as the army -1 Headhunter now retreating back. Back off to the north. Farseer now putting in pressure. Level 2 on that Farseer. Chain Lightning trying to rack up a little bit more damage. There goes one Ghoul as well, as both sides fighting, and well, the trash talk is already getting underway. MuscleMike saying owned, as now INSUP now coming in 2v1 pressure off to the north. Death Coil onto the Farseer, as the Farseer now loses that healing salve and could be in pressure down to 220 hit points already, and not really wanting to stick around in this fight all that much. Doesn't have another charge of that healing salve, and with that is going to be forced to retreat back. Very, very smart play by KraV to reset that entire attack by putting a little bit of, damage onto that Farseer to prevent any additional healing. Healing wards, however, now dropped by INSUP. So INSUP, if he wants to, can try and really use those healing wards to recover up a lot of hit points here and then really push in with a full hit point unit. MuscleMike continuing with all the trash talk, as you can see INSUP and MuscleMike off to the north working together. Down to the south, though, we are looking at Miezhiko looking to get to level 2 on that Death Knight, and a level 2 Death Knight with Unholy Aura should be able to rack up quite a bit of damage as well. Death Knight now looking to clear up some additional additional creep camps. Do we see the Lich? No, Lich is already in play for KraV. As we see the tech to tier 3. Meanwhile, back off to the north here, we are still seeing some very, very heavy creeping dual level 3 Farseers for MuscleMike and INSUP as they're pushing on with that pressure. That is a lot of headhunters joining in on the battle here. Tech to tier 3 has started for both sides as they will be transitioning into Berserkers. I cannot imagine them trying to go up against Death Knights, Death Coil, and Lich's Frost Nova with only 375 hit points. The battle of attrition would just really fall too much in favor for the undead, who is able to burst down units so quickly. Miezhiko looking to get to level 3 off of this creep camp here. Crypt Fiend's healing back up quite a bit. We can see a sacrificial dagger or ritual dagger was used. Or is it a sacrifice? Whatever the healing mechanism is for those Crypt Fiends here, getting healed up, slow regeneration as the Death Knight gets up to level 3. Oh, it's a ritual dagger that sacrifices a unit. All right, so I guess if I use sacrificial dagger or ritual dagger, you know exactly what I mean, because, well, they're almost used interchangeably here, as the Death Knight now sits at level 3 with a potion of greater mana and an Ankh of Reincarnation. Back off to the north, a big 2v1 fight off to the north here. KraV is actually having a bit of problem. Scroll of Town Portal inbound, and is this going to be enough? An additional Death Knight and Lich while fighting on Blight. Healing Ward is down, and that was a beautiful item drop there. Chain Lightning bouncing around here. Lich quickly going after that Healing Ward to prevent a lot of healing there. Meanwhile, INSUP baiting the attack because he had that Ankh of Reincarnation that was not quickly discovered there, as that Healing Ward is quickly taken down. Death Knight now back out onto the battlefield. Gonna have plenty of Death Coils to use here, as we see 2 level 3 Death Knights going up against 2 level 3 Farseers. Tauren Chieftain is out alongside that Shadow Hunter. Frost Nova down. There goes one Shadow Hunter as well. Are we going to see any additional mana? No, we do not. KraV and Miezhiko do not have all of that additional regeneration as of yet, as the undead army of MuscleMike now taking the long way round and the long trip back home may end up just walking straight into the receiving end of KraV's army, but a lot of those units are just simply skeletal minions. All right, a little bit more damage there. Headhunter going to get taken down. There's a denied. There's a bit of an experience kill, as KraV and Miezhiko perhaps playing with the fire under them, as MuscleMike starts with the trash talking. Berserker upgrade getting researched. Meanwhile, Berserker upgrade also getting researched as well. We see Tauren Chieftain Shadow Hunter with dual level 3 Farseers, and now MuscleMike and INSUP using that level 3 advantage to take a tiny Great Hall and set up an expansion. Tauren Chieftain now sitting at level 2, Gloves of Haste alongside that Ring of Regeneration promises for a lot of natural healing here, as this Great Hall is nearly done. However, any additional expansions will be a little bit more difficult to try and establish, as KraV goes after some of these center creep camps here to make up for a little bit of lost experience time. Level 2 now on that Lich, plus 10 attack with that Orb of Corruption and that Claws of Attack plus 10. Meanwhile, level 2 on the Lich of Miezhiko as well. I hope I'm really... Miezhiko. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Based on the flag. I don't know how to say. Maybe it's like I'm almost saying it with the Japanese accent, and I know that's not the Japanese flag. So yeah, like I know some of my flags, and I know that's not the Japanese one. Anyways, coming back through, KraV, Dark Ranger, Death Knight, and Lich coming together here, clearing back off to the north. Meanwhile, the teal and blue army ready to put in that pressure. Expansion is already up and operational for MuscleMike. Meanwhile, INSUP heading down to the south here, entangle from a creep camp as we now see 2v1 pressure on inside MuscleMike's base. MuscleMike does have fortified armor, but is it going to really matter when there's this many ghouls also joining in on the battlefield as well? Dual obsidian statues could cause a little bit of problem. There goes an ensnare. KraV being forced to stick around in that battle as a Scroll of Town Portal now coming down as well. All right, Berserkers, mass Berserkers putting in that pressure. Kodo Beast with, well, damage upgrade. Only the level 1 damage upgrade, not the level 2. So these are all essentially 1-0 upgraded or 2-0 upgraded units with that additional bonus damage. Tauren Chieftain now trying to lead or trying to get in the proper position. There goes a decent stomp. Are they going to be able to rack up that much damage? No, they are not, as some of the Crypt Fiends are being forced off to the side as well. Multiple Berserkers are not within combat range, and that is the problem. INSUP and MuscleMike seem to have the larger army, but they can't get all of the units to engage at the same time. Now, at this point, KraV and Miezhiko need to back out of this fight. They're taking far too much damage. Tauren Chieftain has a potion of lesser invulnerability. Crypt Fiends are going to fall. Shadowhunter gets up to level 3, and all of the units are dying. The heroes are staying alive, though, but... well, INSUP and MuscleMike with a much larger army still causing more pressure and even getting in some purges onto those Crypt Fiends to prevent them from retreating. All right, not much of an army left for Miezhiko or KraV as they may be forced to retreat back here. Death Knight now forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal in order to retreat away. Perhaps going to try and run back down to the south side here, catch a couple of units, no ensnares or purges onto the Obsidian statue as the Shadowhunter and Farseer closing that ground quickly. All right, they're retreating with a tail between their legs. 38 supply, 38 going up against 54 and 46. So yellow and orange definitely have the advantage over purple and blue in terms of army size, as the Kodo Beast in the back still only showing level 1 War Drum upgrades, not yet getting that level 2 War Drum upgrade as of yet. All right. Shamans and Witch Doctors also being trained up as well, as we see MuscleMike and INSUP clearing off this north side creep camp, perhaps trying to get level 2 endurance aura off of these creeps here, picking up a circlet of nobility to go alongside that ring of regeneration and potion of invulnerability, which could be very, very useful in the upcoming fight. All of the north cramps now have been cleared out, save for one, but I'll consider that in like the tropics. If you're looking at the map in a northerly, southerly direction, it's got to be slightly north of the equator, but not by much. Coming back down to the south side here, Shadowhunter, Farseer, level 4 or level 3, level 4 respectively, as the Berserkers are still only sitting on 1-0 upgrades. I don't see any additional, I take it back, level 2 upgrades now, thorium range weapons as well, as we are going into Arcanite range weapons for MuscleMike. MuscleMike trying to get those 3-0 weapon upgrades going. Kodo Beast still with an additional 10% damage bonus. Meanwhile, on the south side of the map, or southeast side of the map, Death Knight alongside a Crypt Lord now continuing to do a bit of creeping as well. That Crypt Lord can add a bit of additional damage, impaling and stunning down enemy units. And while those units are stunned, it will actually buy time for the Liches and the Death Knight to recover that, their cooldown periods on their abilities. All right, last Forest Troll High Priest about to get taken down. Shamans do have Bloodlust upgrade, so we could have Bloodlust and Berserker Rage as the Death Knight now getting ready to engage here. Ring of Regeneration, is it going to be picked up? Yes, it is. Ring of Regeneration ready to go. Frost Nova onto the Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter going to quickly regenerate some of that hit points. There's a big impale across the center portion of the army. Healing Wave now bouncing back around. Destroyer devouring that magic, getting additional mana and also maintaining their hit points there, as the purple army now going to try and engage. Farseer quickly gets taken down. Abomination quickly gets taken down. A big Impale. One Berserker, two Berserkers getting taken down before the Scroll of Town Portal completes. I believe there was a Tome of Strength here. Death Knight going to quickly pick back up and now make its way back out. MuscleMike 62 over 62 supply compared to 55 at 55 and 61. That's compared to 50 and 50. So no upkeep versus low upkeep. That is going to be the difference. Healing Wave bouncing around. 14 gold a second for MuscleMike. INSUP sitting at 7. And that compared to 20 gold a second for KraV and Miezhiko. Actually, no, take it back. 17 gold a second now as we see Miezhiko going into low upkeep as well. Coming back through, both sides fighting back around. Shadow Hunter of MuscleMike nearly at level 2. We are seeing another expansion by MuscleMike. So MuscleMike expanding off to the north, making it and constantly putting pressure on the south. MuscleMike and INSUP may be able to get away with this if he's drawn the attacks away from his opponent. I'm sure there's Sun Tzu's art of war somewhere in there. Attack where your opponent is not, and make them go to somewhere to a different point of interest that is weak for you. However, MuscleMike about to lose one of his expansions here down at the 10 o'clock location, but there does seem to be a 2v1 fight already getting underway. All right, level up Crippler, seeing that level 2. Gonna see an Impale. That is a good 7-8 units getting impaled there, followed by a Frost Nova. Healing Wave trying to bounce around. Torrent Chieftain, Chain Lightning bouncing back as well, as KraV does have Necromancers and may be able to set up that pop-up army. Torrent Chieftain of INSUP quickly throws down a stomp. There's a Chain Lightning as the Torrent Chieftain about to fall. He ends up falling as a Scroll of Town Portal making the units walk around every which way. We are looking at Disease Cloud getting spread across multiple units. The Berserkers do take quite a bit of damage, and they have low hit points. That is going to be difficult to offset and heal as both sides are fighting their way through. MuscleMike coming across with the Torrent Chieftain, Lightning Shield and Stomp, stunning down, doing quite a bit of damage, and still has plenty to go with a Potion of Mana available as well. No more Lightning Shield, does have another Potion of Mana, but MuscleMike being forced to retreat out of this fight. Are we going to see a retreat by INSUP as well? Yes, we do. Miezhiko sitting at 46 supply. KraV sitting at 53. Total of about 99. Going up against 52 and 45. Total of about 97. And when I say about, I guess I'm kind of speaking Vulcan, because that's, unless my math was wrong, that's exactly what it was. But then again, I've learned from work. So you can often say about, and then you can get away with, looking... even if you do simple arithmetic wrong, just like, oh, I was just doing approximations. Coming back through, Torrent Chieftain coming in with a stomp, going after that, Lich getting a nice 400 burst heal. Other army now, MuscleMike gonna dive on in as well. We see one building was taken down. I believe that was the Spirit Lodge. Lich falls at level 3. Torrent Chieftain can try and chase as well, as we see a bit of Devour Magic and another Death Coil there. All right, INSUP Torrent Chieftain down to 200 hit points, could end up falling down to 150. And he's gonna be in a very bad way, giving Dark Ranger now level 3. Torrent Chieftain falls at level 1, but MuscleMike's Torrent Chieftain is the bigger deal. Lich falls at level 3 as well. We can see some more Death Knights coming across, and there is another big Death Coil as Miezhiko needs to get a Death Coil. No, doesn't need to get a Death Coil from his partner in crime, KraV. KraV trying to fight back the other way. Units trying to fight around this little small pond that makes it difficult to get a good surround. A nice big stomp right there. We're going to see a Chain Lightning. There goes an Impale as well, as the units are still fighting every which way. All right, we are looking at a little bit more damage. Another Obsidian Statue about to fall. There goes an Obsidian Statue as well, as the Shadow Hunter now continuing the charge, trying to head back after all these units. One Necromancer getting taken down there as the units retreat back again. This ninja expansion off to the north has pretty much been undisturbed. MuscleMike still has this expansion, but that is getting disrupted by a ghoul. No orc burrows to try and hide in. INSUP sitting at 44 supply. MuscleMike sitting at 56. Total of 100. 43 and 52. Miezhiko and KraV slightly behind in the supply count. Army size, though, I do believe that well, MuscleMike and INSUP with more workers probably has less of an army size in this upcoming fight. Both sides turning back around. Level 3 now on to that Shadow Hunter. Level 2 healing wave most likely in order, as there's just so much to constantly heal as MuscleMike looks to retreat back again. Long drawn out game all across the place here. Undead trying to knock on the door of the orc and their difficult to kill buildings. However, INSUP still does not have fortified armor upgrades on those orc burrows. Wouldn't have those fortified upgrades on watchtowers either, but I don't believe INSUP has trained up a single watchtower yet. Both sides still mining their way through. 1 minute of mining left inside the main bases. And suddenly it will be 2 bases to 0 as the base off to the north and the base here at the 10 o'clock position, both by MuscleMike, the only bases that will be mining gold. 2-1. I take it back. Miezhiko doing a good job with this haunted gold mine at the 4 o'clock location on the far east side of the map. Only a forest separates these two armies. 2-0 upgrades or basic upgrades still for those Kodo beasts as the army's going to try and engage here. Berserker could have a very bad day. There it goes. Death Coil, a round of attacks here. Are we going to see a healing wave? There goes an Impale, and somehow the Berserker survives at 74 hit points. Healing wave coupled with, troll regeneration making a big deal there. Meanwhile, MuscleMike trying to repair this great hall here. Not going to be able to keep it alive, but it is buying some precious time as the units of Miezhiko trying to retreat back out. This is a tough spot to be in. Miezhiko fighting a 2v1 fight both against orange and yellow, forcing his opponent to burn through a scroll of town portal. It is going to be 1 base play to 1 base play now. Miezhiko and MuscleMike, the only sides with operational bases, and they seem to still have a decent amount of gold left. Coming back around, what is MuscleMike's follow-up plan going to be? New expansion off to the north by KraV to try and take back an expansion that was lost. Meanwhile, INSUP, well, using that tiny Great Hall and its short build time to his advantage. This Great Hall is nearly done, will be done here in just a moment as the Acolytes and Undead army of Miezhiko and KraV, well, come diving on in to shut this down. All right, Dark Ritual on that Great Hall. We're going to see a little bit more damage. Farseer sitting at level 5. Little bit of damage coming across through. There's a level 2 Death Coil causing quite a bit of damage. Scroll of Town Portal trying to retreat away, and it will be able to retreat away, keeping himself alive. Meanwhile, all of these units are still retreating back. There goes a couple of ensnares going down, trying to attempt to take down these destroyers. Another ensnare could go down here. Tauren Chieftain still sitting at 4. This Tauren Chieftain still sitting at 1 after all this time as the army scrolls of Town Portal down to the south. Northern expansion by KraV. If KraV and Miezhiko is able to keep their attention focused all on the south side, that economic advantage may be able to carry them through as the Chain Lightning bounces around multiple targets. Here we are, Disease Cloud acting as the lasting damage over time effect on against the Orc army. Meanwhile, Death Knight now still trying to perhaps drop in a couple of skeletal minions and start some sort of push as there's no AoE Dispel coming in from the Orc. Tauren Chieftain's getting into position. There is a giant stomp stunning about 12 units. Chain Lightning bouncing around every which way. No Lightning Shield. Tauren Chieftain still looking back around. Perhaps could try and go for Shockwave as well, as the Tauren Chieftains are just lining up stomp after stomp. Meanwhile, Skeletal Minions continuing to summon up more units. This Tauren Chieftain having a very bad day, getting taken down for I believe the 3rd or 4th time throughout this match as Death Coil still coming across very heavily. Are we going to see another final departing impale against all of these units? There goes another Spirit Walker as Undead seems to be gaining control of this game. Death Knight looking to get to level 5 may not be able to get there. Just simply so many heroes nearby that there isn't enough experience to go around to get KraV's Death Knight to level 6. Meanwhile, back off to the north, here we are engaging Farseer, coming across, getting some Chain Lightning, both sides racking up damage. There's another Spirit Walker getting taken down. Orange Army is right there trying to line up. Yellow Army is here as well, but Yellow Army is pretty much non-existent as INSUP trying to come across in the center side here, perhaps going to cause some problems. There's a giant stomp as well. Taurens with Pulverize really racking up quite a bit of damage against all of these units. Tauren Chieftain throws down another stomp here. More damage could get racked up here. Death Knight does have a potion of lesser invulnerability using right there. He's down to 326 hit points. Chain Lightning still bouncing array. Tauren Chieftain uses his potion of invulnerability, trying to fight back. Death Knight about to get taken down. He gets taken down as the Shadow Hunter gets up to level 4. Needs a little bit more mana. Crippler falls at level 3. And now this Shadow Hunter, if he's able to escape, would be the difference between a good trade and an even trade. Shadow Hunter quickly trying to buy some healing items and get back into this game here. Perhaps a healing wave bouncing around will keep him alive. Tauren still, while making its way back over, he's easily going to get taken down by those Necromancers as well. 355 hit point Necromancers with 10 to 11 magic damage, really, dealing more damage on to all of those heavy armored units. Death Knight awfully close to level 6. Farseer, are we going to see a Devour Magic? Yes, we do, but the Crypt Fiend still ends up getting taken down. Farseer sitting at level 6 as well. 544 going up against a couple of level 6 heroes. Still haven't seen a level 6 hero ability really dictate or change the pacing of this game here, as the southern expansion now destroyed. It is one base versus two bases off to the north here. The purple army of KraV was doing some mining, but a quick unsummoning of that building and quick movement of the acolytes means that no more gold will be mined. All right, INSUP down to 9 over 41 supply, 38 over 72, going up against 43 over 70 and 32 over 80. Miezhiko and KraV seem to have their work cut out for them with the larger armies, really able to put down quite a bit of pressure. Expansion down to the south side nearly completed, as well as the army now looks to retreat back, regroup before venturing out once more. We're nearly at the 27-minute mark of this game. Still no clear-cut winner, as both sides are trying to disrupt the other team's playstyle and stopping them from being able to get gold easily and freely. Destroyers are here. Devour Magic could try and clean up many of these Spirit Wolves here. The Haunted Goldmine down to 285 hit points. Acolytes could try and repair, but currently are just mining away at that Haunted Goldmine, as a new Haunted Goldmine trying to be established down to the south. Armies, Spirit Wolves venturing forth. It doesn't feel like MuscleMike and iNSUP are ready to really engage and try to take down their opponent yet. Clarity potions being used. Farseer sitting at level 6. Shadow Hunter sitting at level 5. That is it. It is MuscleMike who has the 5-5-4 1-2-3 combination, getting up that third and final hero. Spirit Wolf's going to dive on into position, go straight after these acolytes, attempt to take him down. No reason to attack that acolyte. Well, actually, plenty of reason to attack this acolyte there. This is these Spirit Wolves, even with, and I say even with all of that bonus damage dealing against that medium armor, trying to overcome the acolyte with that faster regeneration while on Blight is extremely difficult. I believe it's 400% regeneration. So the acolytes can seemingly almost stand there. And all right, KraV is saying, wait for Ghost. Thank you. What is, trying to figure out what exactly is going on there. Meanwhile, we are getting in some additional Obsidian statues. 42 over 80 supply, 49 over 70. Ready to venture forth. Another tiny Great Hall being established by MuscleMike to take this base off to the north. All right. Feral Spirits trying to take down these acolytes. Lich is going to make a quick play over it, be able to easily take them down. And, well, asking what ultimate ability to go for, that's always a dangerous question. Miezhiko's Death Knight is sitting at level 6, so that level 6 ability, Animate Dead, is fairly powerful, but getting level 3 Unholy Aura is also a very happy and prominent choice, as it gives so much natural healing in and out of fights, an additional 50%, thereby increasing and making that entire army that much stronger. army is going to get ready to engage here. Lich sitting at level 4, Death Knight sitting at level 5, Dark Ranger sitting at level 4. And are we going to see any real mining or any real disruption here? Yes, we are. And here we are. Here we go, trying to take down all of those peons here. I don't believe we'll see a level up, but this is going to really set a blow to the overall economy of MuscleMike again. Necromancers do have mastery training up to 400 mana. So much mana, not enough corpses to try and really build up that pop-up army. 30 over 30 supply, Berserkers, 3-1 upgrades. I don't see any Kodos as of yet. Kodo Beast now joining in on the battle. So we're going to be looking at 4-1, if not 5-1 upgraded Berserkers, as the Berserkers are going to get anywhere from 4 to 8 bonus damage. It's only the 4 variety, and now here we are, Chain Lightning bouncing around, Impale, not hitting up that Kodo Beast. Kodo Beast could easily try and devour magic that Abomination. That would be a very, very smart call. Meanwhile, Lich has fallen at level 4 for purple. KraV losing that Lich at level 4. Death Knight now still staying at level 5. Units are trying to retreat back. Altar of Storms, as we see the Dark Ranger trying to get in perhaps some additional damage as well. Healing Wave still bouncing around. That pop-up army representing a large amount of damage if they are going unchecked, and that's exactly what's happening right here. No Lightning Shield, no Cloak of Flames, nothing to really rack up damage off of that Tauren Chieftain, as that Tauren Chieftain is awfully close to level 6. All right, Death Knight has fallen at level 5 for KraV. So KraV, losing that level 5 Death Knight could be in a very big trouble. Meanwhile, Miezhiko is also bringing in Animate Dead Tauren to try and finish off this push. More healing waves coming across here, more damage racking up. Meat Wagons could try and finish off building after building, which would really hurt the infrastructure of MuscleMike and the ability to try and train up more units, as he's the one that's had expansions throughout this game. All right, massive number of skeletal minions and mages now joining in here, trying to put in pressure onto some of these back units. Shadow Hunter, Farseer is in some serious trouble. There is a watchtower here, but is it going to be enough? Trying to turn the tide and turn things back around again. Tauren Chieftain looking to go after some of these units here. What was that? There goes, what's that? Well, not quite sure why you would attack that. Attacking that there as a blue and teal going up against orange and yellow. All right, Miezhiko finally using that Scroll of Town Portal to head back here. Miezhiko, excuse me, KraV using the Scroll of Town Portal to head back out. We're now looking at Miezhiko trying to retreat away as well, but a couple of ensnares may, make that retreat end a bit early. Lich now back up to level 5, or back to level 5, down to 120 mana. Is he going to be able to survive? Get off of Frost Nova? No, dies at 123 mana before he could get off of Frost Nova. Tauren Chieftain of MuscleMike now sitting at level 6, nearly impossible to kill. Meanwhile, the Dark Ranger of KraV is the only hero left, as he's resurrecting that Death Knight. Back to the center portion of the map, Dark Ranger hanging around by the tavern, perhaps wanting to train up that Lich, sees the incoming Orc army and says, you know what, I simply cannot stay here, being forced to retreat back. KraV unsummoning a couple of key buildings to try and perhaps train up that last Lich as well, alongside that Death Knight who is nearly done being resurrected. Scroll of Town Portal pushing back other way. Goes a stomp as the, Crypt Lord able to be transported back home and stay safe. Looking at 53 over 90 supply going up against 28 over 70, 39 over 72 against 8 over 31. INSUP with a much significantly smaller army overall, only with a Shadow Hunter and maybe a Spirit Walker or some sort of worker somewhere else on the map. Where are these units going to try and travel off to next? Fight in the center portion of the map. Lich now resurrected back at the tavern. Going to perhaps try and get in some more hit points. Meanwhile, Dire Wolves, or the Shadow Wolves, are now making their way into position and perhaps trying to disrupt a bit of mining. All right. Miezhiko is constantly saying wait, just constantly wait for the perfect opportunity to strike. But sometimes a perfect opportunity never comes, and you just needed to make best with the opportunity given to you. As the units are now looking to retreat back here. There's a couple more Death Coils. Shadowhunter quickly gets a healing wave off to try and stay alive. There goes a quick Impale. We could be going for a Death Coil Stomp, something else in Sup, trying to keep that that Witch Doctor alive, but he gets taken down quickly, and suddenly the burst heal of the Orc looks significantly weaker. Lich now continuing to give chase. There's another big Impale, and that is going to be the game. InSup throwing in the towel, and just like that, KraV and Miezhiko get the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
A town is under siege.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.